Okay, given the graph of y equal to fx. Like our case, correct? The fx graph, so far we discussed it go like that.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yes, who is that? Please mute yourself. Kaimon. Okay, so this is y equal to fx. Okay, you know that A is the local maximum of y equal to fx. Okay, and B is the non-stationary inflection point of y equal to fx. So we also know that how to find the stationary point of y equal to fx, correct? Do you know how to find? Do you know how to find the stationary point of y equal to fx? You know, am I right? You know the calculus part, am I right? Everyone know, the calculus part. Sure, I don't have to repeat, Okay. Do you know how to find the inflection point of y equal to fx? Do you know how to find the inflection point of y equal to fx? Hello? You must know how to do it calculus by calculus. So using graphic calculator, you know how to do, correct? Yes or no? If yes, you nod your head. If no, you shake your head. Yes or no, using your graphic calculator? Huh? Do you know how to find stationary point using your graphic calculator? There are some who say don't know. Okay, those say yes, can you tell me how to find? If I give you the function, you key the function into the graphic calculator, correct? Then after that, you put second trace, you find maximum or minimum. Then you will get the turning point, correct? Okay, you only can get the turning point. But if it's a horizontal inflection point, then you can't. Okay, that one. So now how to find the x coordinate of the inflection point of y equal to fx using your GC? Have you ever think about it? For the past few lessons, why we need to sketch the graph of f prime x? You can get the stationary point of f prime x, correct? If you get the stationary point of f prime x, the x coordinate of that stationary point of f prime x will be the x coordinate of the inflection point of fx. Do you know that? That is the reason why I asked you to sketch the graph of f prime x, fx, and f double prime x together. Did y'all do that? So your fx graph is something like this. So I have to exaggerate the graph a bit to let you have a look at the actual situation. This is your y equal to fx. All right. Then your y equal to f prime x will pass through this point 2. Am I right? It go like that. Here, someplace, somewhere here, it got a turning point and it go like this. So it happened at the value, you call it 4. Am I right? And so this is your y equal to f prime x. Then your y equal to f double prime x, it go like that. So this is your y equal to f double prime x. Do you see? F double prime 4 is equal to 0. Am I right? So you want to get the x coordinate. This is the x coordinate of the inflection point of y equal to fx, the blue color. And this is the stationary point. So you have to relate in that way. Correct? Am I right? So that's why just now I asked you, do you all know how to find by calculus or not? You only can get the x coordinate. After you get the x coordinate, then only you put into the y function, fx function to get the y coordinate. You see, I have to mention, I want to find the stationary point of which one. I also need to let, because f double prime is the rate of change of rate of change. So you see, these two are the same thing, but I'm talking about different function. So I can conclude that the x coordinate of the stationary point of y equal to f prime x is the same as the x coordinate of the inflection point of y equal to fx. Isn't it? Look. Look at this part. You want to have a clear idea of how the relationship between all these three graphs go, you have to have this idea in your mind. You have to go and think it by yourself. If every question you need me to point it out to you, that means you are not relating. Then exam question you sure cannot do. Do you get me? It's very, very important. Okay. Can? So can I go back to just now that one? Hey, you give me some response. Either you know or you don't know, you better tell me. Yes? Okay, B is the non. So if the question give you like that, do you know based on this graph, I can draw the sign diagram of f prime x and f double prime x? So the question will give you this graph, then they'll ask you draw the sign diagram for f prime x and f double prime x. So how am I going to draw the sign diagram of f prime x, the rate of change of fx based on the fx graph? So what must I mark on this x-axis? That means, yeah, y2. Okay, y2. Other than say, based on say, because A is the local maximum of y equal to fx. Why must I mark down 2 here? Yeah. So the moment you put a 2 there, I straight away know I can read as this. F prime 2, the value is equal to what? 0. So that is how you read the sign diagram. Am I right? Whatever the value that I mark on the sign diagram, either is undefined if it's the dotted line, or it is the x-intercept of that function. So straight away, I say f prime 2 equal to 0. Okay, now for x less than 2, what should the sign be for that region? What should the sign be? Plus or minus? Plus. Why plus? Because fx graph is going up. That means it shows that fx is increasing. So you have a positive rate. Am I right? Okay. So for x greater than 2, what should the sign be? What should the sign be? Negative. Why? Because the fx graph is going down. Correct? So you must know the reason. So that means the value of y equal to fx is decreasing. So you have a negative rate. Got it? So that is how I determine the sign of f prime x based on the fx graph. Okay. From there, I also can draw the sign diagram of f double prime x. So what number must I mark down? Okay, 4. Why 4? Because B is the inflection point. So that means I straight away know that f double prime 4, the value is 0. So you see how important is it? How important to relate the word with the sign, with the, which graph are you referring to? Okay, now, what should the sign for x less than 4 be? Negative. Why negative? Not going down. Why negative? y negative. You only have this. Y negative. Hurry up. Because quick. No. Because what? Quick. Quick, I give you the answer already. Nothing to do with local maximum. Yes, because the shape of the graph of y equal to fx is concave downward set face. So negative. So in order to know the sign of the f double prime x sign diagram, based on the fx graph, you have to look at the shape of the fx graph. You see or not? So how about x greater than 4? The sign should be, you look at this part, the shape is like that. When you smile, you got two parts. When you cry, you also got two parts. So you are talking about this part. So this is called positive, concave upward. So it's a positive. So we call it convex sometimes. If you look at your book, isn't this a smile? Yeah, why? The graph on the left is concave down, isn't it? You cannot remember, correct? If you cannot remember, correct, you take a pencil, you draw a face here. If you cannot imagine positive or negative, correct, you take a pencil, you draw a face here. Then you put the two eyes here. Isn't it look like crying? You draw a face here. You draw here. Isn't look like smiling? That's it. So you have to be initiative enough to draw. Correct? So you see, I can give you the graph of fx. You have to know, transfer into a sign diagram of f prime x and f double prime x. This is the skill that every one of us must know. You see, Anna? Okay, any question before I go further? Okay, the two young men there, you got question, you ask me. If you don't trash it out now, exam you cannot do, you don't blame me. Sure got one question like that in your SAT too. And you have to understand this fully before we can go to the application. And that will make up another 3 questions of your SAT. Because now after that, I'm going to teach you how to describe the FX graph. Yes? Not, yeah, changes shape, that is one. But you got also another one, because this is a non-horizontal inflection point. Afterward, I will tell you there is another meaning behind it. You can say that inflection point is the point whereby the FX graph is changing its shape. Can say like that based on the graph. But there is another meaning of it, which is more important when it comes to application. I will tell you afterward. So far, so good? So exam, you don't know which graph am I going to give you. I can give you FX graph. I can give you F prime X graph. And ask you to find FX graph. You can trace back the other way around. Okay. It's not easy. Okay. So far, so good? Okay, those online, any question? Okay, no, huh? So everyone know how to determine the sign, huh? Okay, now, I'm going to teach you how to describe the changes of y equal to fx. Okay, I'm going to draw the graph. Okay, point A and point B on the y equal to fx graph, we call it critical point. When we say critical point, that means after that point, something different. Okay, the changes is different already. Okay, so now you look. I'm going to describe for x less than 2. Y equal to fx is increasing. Okay? Just describe increasing is not enough. I want to know how the slope changes. Increasing with decreasing rate for this case. Can you explain why I say decreasing rate? Okay, instead of say the gradient getting lower and lower, what is a better word? The word decreasing says so. So that people who don't know the meaning of decreases will understand. When you have the sense of the graph, you are talking about the gradient of the graph. You're talking about gradient is the steepness of the graph. So the graph becomes less steep. Less steep. So if those who cannot figure out, you look at the steepness of the graph. That means the slope. In another word, it becomes less slanting. All right, the angle becomes smaller. We refer to the x-axis. So decreasing rate because it becomes less steep. When you say steepness, always refer to the horizontal axis. The angle made by the tangent with the horizontal axis. It's very important, huh? Because afterward, I got another student who tell me, this angle is bigger. I'm referring to the angle made by the tangent with the x-axis. Are you clear? Less steep. So we say it's decreasing rate. So are you okay now? Okay, now for x, between 2 and 4. Okay, anyone want to try? Anyone want to try? You try, that means you are trying to see whether your understanding is right or wrong. Yes, decreasing with decreasing rate, increasing rate. You are right. Y equal to fx is decreasing with increasing rate. Right? Because the graph becomes steeper and steeper as it goes down. Got it? Okay. So now I want to tell you another meaning of non-horizontal inflection point. Y equal to fx is decreasing because at this point the graph is going down. At this point the gradient is the steepest. Am I right? So y equal to fx is decreasing at the highest rate. Can. Fastest rate also can. Or you want to say highest rate, your choice. In this case, it's the lowest point of the rate because it is decreasing. So usually we don't use the word highest rate, we use the word fastest rate. So you are talking about the steepness of the graph. So if any application question asks you, find the value of x whereby y equal to fx is decreasing or increasing at the fastest rate, straight away I know I have to look for inflection point of fx. See or not? They won't ask you purposely find the inflection point. So that's why I say you must know this in order to understand how to apply. That I won't ask you. I will ask you a question like that. So today you must bear in mind, for non-horizontal inflection point, it implies this. So whenever you see a question like that, you straight away put in your mind, f double prime x equal to 0. No need to think twice. You train your mind to think like that. You see or not, if this part you don't understand, correct? When I go to application part, correct? You sure kalang kabut one. So that is the meaning of non-horizontal inflection point. The gradient is not zero. So it's not an issue of changing shape in this situation. It's a situation whereby it either increasing with the fastest rate or decreasing with the fastest rate. Are you clear? This is a non-horizontal inflection point. That is how you should interpret. Okay? For x greater than 4, y equal to fx is, give me the word, decreasing because going down with decreasing rate. Wonderful. So the moment I say the right word, everyone got it right. So you want to know the rate, you look at the steepness of the y equal to fx graph. So what do you realize? If the fx graph is concave down, that means negative, f double prime x is negative. Do you see how is these two related? So you look at this one. Sorry. You look at this, and you look at the rate. You look at this, and you look at the rate. And if it's a convex, concave upward, you look at this one and the rate. Do you see what is the similarity? What is the differences? So if you really cannot, what do you need to do? Just follow this. They're opposite for concave down. Convex, they are the same. This part. Okay, if the graph of y equal to fx graph is like that, this way up. So how should we describe? It's convex, correct? Increasing wave. So this one we will describe as y equal to fx is increasing. I purposely put this one down because we don't have this part in this graph. Increasing with increasing rate. So now you know how to describe. Okay? So it's extremely important. So you have to know which graph are you referring to? Which sign diagram can you produce based on the graph given? So if whoever want to try more, want to challenge yourself, I got upload in Times. There is a few questions on curve property. Yeah. So everything about curve property, I have finished teaching. So you can do exercise in chapter 3 until 3D. Okay, any question? What do you mean? This is just out from our question here. This is just I'm telling you for this part. Okay, is if the shape go up like that. Yeah, so it will be increasing with increasing rate. Yeah, I can give you a graph like that. Okay, go. You want to go to bathroom, you go. Okay, like for example, I give you this. Okay. Then you go like that. So at this point A, it is increasing at the fastest rate, isn't it? Because at this point, the graph is the steepest. So you can increasing at the fastest rate is possible. Since I give you the graph like that. Okay, when I put the arrow here means there's no limit to this function. Can you, based on this graph, try to produce a sign diagram for f prime x and f double prime x? Whereby I say A is the inflection point. Of, I should say, non-stationary, of y equal to fx. Okay, based on all this information, okay, draw the sign diagram of fx and f double prime x. Hello, faster, move. Hey, please produce the sign diagram of f prime x and f double prime x. Should I bring my iPad to anyone to write? Okay. This is a very simple one. Is there a stationary point for fx? No. Should I mark anything on the line? No. The fx graph from left to right, is it always going up? Done. 1 mark. You see? 1 mark. Exam, I can come out like that. Okay. Is there any inflection point? Yes. What is the coordinate x of the inflection point? A. So straight away, I read here, f double prime A equal to 0. So should I mark A on my line for f double prime? For x less than A, what should the sign be? Positive, smile. The right side of the smiling, correct? And after A, see? Exam come out like that, you got 3 marks already. Are you clear? So do you know how to interpret that kind of things? Okay, good. Yeah, so I will advise you to go back and do. Can I not? Okay, any more questions? Okay, I would like you to try especially exercise. Get yourself prepared. Okay, especially exercise 3C. 3C and 3D. 3D. 3D.1. Yeah, 3D.1. especially on page 75. You should try to do all to get a better understanding of the whole thing. Okay? The best is you can try everything. Yeah. Hello? Okay, I want you specially prepare question 8. I want to discuss question 8 with you tomorrow. Page 75, question 8. The other class I discussed already. You have your, okay, we still got 5 minutes. You have your textbook with you? When you look at question 8, first thing, what will you do? Yes, the back row, all the SpecMax students. Why? You see, very good. You see how you start a question, very important. I told you already, whenever you want to draw a sign diagram or you want to sketch a graph, the most important one is the domain. Yeah. Okay, young man, what is the domain for this question? You don't have a textbook? It's so clear, you can't see. Yes, what is the domain? Yes, 2x minus 1 greater than 0, x greater than half. So that means when you sketch your graph, straight away you know your vertical asymptote already, x equal to half. So your graph go like that. You have your graphic calculator, correct? So you can find the x-intercept here without using calculus, without using algebra. So now you don't tell me, Mr. I'm not good in algebra, I cannot get the answer. All the answer in this question, because they didn't say calculus, they didn't say exact value, you can just use your graphic calculator and get the answer. I can turn this into one of the questions for your SAT. And this particular question, they are all together A, B, C, D, E, F, 6 parts, correct? So this can make a 10-mark question. Hello? Are you clear? This can be a 10-mark question. So this is where we talk about application come in. And we won't set the question, just give you the function, just ask you to find stationary point. This will be applied. You prepare all this so that you can do your exercise E, F, G. So I'm telling you this SAT 2 is not a matter of how skillful are you with the algebra. It's talking about how are you going to use your graphic calculator to enhance your calculation so that you can answer the question fast. Are you okay? There were definitely 1 or 2 parts whereby I said using calculus. So you can do this question 8 solely using your calculator. Okay, tomorrow I will go through the whole thing and I will discuss how are you supposed to answer if the question is phrased it the other way around? Okay? So please practice. Don't wait until exam come only you want to practice. It will fail you, I tell you. Okay? Thank you, class. Yes? Huh?